Hey, hello, I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Rise or Fall to talk about the end of Week 6. Yes, Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills head to the Tennessee Titans in what should be an unbelievably deceptive game. Hang here and let's talk about it. Hey, hello, and we are back. Once again, I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Rise or Fall to discuss Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills head to Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Titans. And seriously, with the shift in weather, especially here, those of us in Michigan or on the East Coast, fall is here. You can see the pumpkin head behind me. Monday Night Football is, in all honesty, this time of the year, it's magical. It's special. We look forward to it all day. And if you're in Buffalo or Tennessee, you've been looking forward to this game for quite some time. You circled it on the calendar, big red marker, maybe a little bit of a pink highlighter, and don't worry, it's here. It is upon us, and I want to talk about it from a DFS perspective. And oh boy, do I have some doozies in terms of some team stacks and some players I want to discuss. But before we do that, make sure you go to Team Rise or Fall, like, share, and subscribe. You know the deal. On the Discord is free. You know, all the YouTube stuff is free. And I say it very often, I'll never get away from it, but I can't thank all of you enough. All the support, all the likes, the shares, the comments, all over social media. Not just for me and my content, but everybody here at Team Rise or Fall. A lot of folks are doing, you know, some good, how do I say good without sounding like negative, like fake positive? But everybody's working hard. And again, it is the end of Week 6 today. And I'm telling you now, I said it on the Sunday broadcast with Mitch on YouTube. Like, this is where, you know, separates the men from the boys, the girls from the women here, because, you know, the first like 3 or 4 weeks of the season, even 5 weeks into the season, a lot of the casual DFS people, you know, they're all full of pee and vinegar, I think is piss and vinegar, as they say. And so they hit the ground running hard with terms of content and writing and all their interactions on social media. And then you look at Week 6 to Week 12, a lot of people peter out. They lose steam and they just disappear. So I hopefully none of you disappear. I'm here through the long haul, all the way through the playoffs. I know I'm getting on on a tangent here, but you get the idea. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And again, I can't, everything that Team Rise or Fall has done for me, you're giving it back in full effect, and I'm so excited about it. And we have a long way to go, but more than not, let's talk about the football game tonight. The Buffalo Bills head to the Tennessee Titans, and I keep looking over here at my notes, which you know I do. I try and send photos of it, and people enjoy it. Like Sunday night, I wasn't able to record a video. I was downtown watching the Lions game, so I did my notes. I screenshot the notes, and everybody loved it. So maybe I'll start doing that more often, in addition to the videos and my notes. Should be a great time. Just working stuff out on the go to what you like. That's all I'm doing. So make sure you comment. What am I doing that you like? What am I doing that you dislike? So we'll go from there. But in terms of this game, Buffalo at Tennessee, right now the point spread, Tennessee is getting 3.5 points. The over-under is at about 53.5 here. And I want to go over really quick, if I might. It was success last week. Just some quick betting advice, really quick. The underdog is 6-0 against the spread their last 6 meetings. So the Tennessee Titans are the underdog here, and they look to move to 7-0 against the spread the last 6 games between these two. I always find this stuff wild and very enjoyable. So one more, the Bills, they're 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 road games. So the last 7 times the Bills have played on the road, they're 6-1 ATS against the spread. And one more, the Tennessee Titans 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 Monday night games. And look, I know this stuff you could be out in space, it doesn't make sense to you, and I'm telling you, I love that weird stuff, right? Like Tennessee is 4-0 the last Monday night football games where the weather was like 60 degrees and there was partial sun and little humidity. I mean, that stuff in the long run, if you calculate that and log it out, it's wild to me, but that stuff is shockingly on point here. So let's talk about the first man I want to mention, Josh Allen. at Tennessee. Tennessee's 23rd overall against opposing quarterbacks. On FanDuel, Josh Allen, $17,000, and on DraftKings, he's $12,800. And I just want to preface it by saying these are all flex prices. You know, on FanDuel, it's the same thing. MVP and flex, same price. But on DraftKings, that's where the disparity is. So on DraftKings, Josh Allen, $12,800. And I have my projections written down, too, for the game. And I got Josh Allen for well above 260, 270-ish passing yards. I think he finds the end zone twice in the air. And I like him for, what do I have, about 7 or 8 carries for 40 yards and another touchdown there. So that goes without saying. Josh Allen is, aside from Derrick Henry, which we'll get to, Josh Allen is the favorite to just lead an ownership in the MVP or captain spot. Rightfully so. Let's transition to Ryan Tannehill playing Buffalo. Buffalo's 5th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Tanny, $14,000 on FanDuel, $9,800 on DraftKings. I have Tanny kind of penciled in for about 260 passing yards and 1 touchdown pass set in stone, but there is a chance for more. But we have to realize with Derrick Henry back there, this guy commands an awesome amount of workload, and it's great to see, but it kind of have to temper our expectations for Ryan Tannehill. As I said, 14 grand on FanDuel, $9,800 on DraftKings. Let's talk about the running backs, probably my favorite portion of Monday Night Football, this game specifically. You know, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, Derrick Henry, and then we have the addition of Darrington Evans, who he has practiced the last week or 10 days, and Jeremy McNichols very much in play. But let me slow down, hold my horses. Let's stop at Zach Moss really quick in Tennessee. Tennessee's 13th overall against opposing running backs. Moss is $9,500 on FanDuel, $7,000 even on DraftKings. Now, look, with him, we don't know. Actually, I take that back. We are starting to see a clear picture between him and Devin Singletary. Let's talk Singletary really quick. $8,000 even on FanDuel, $4,600 on DraftKings. And what I was getting at is it's starting to take shape. Both of these kids, these running backs, outstanding in terms of seasonal formats to me. But you look at these two. I have Zach Moss for about 11 or 12 carries, and I have Devin Singletary at about 9 or 10. So it's literally right down the middle, give or take, you know, a carry or two. In terms of Zach Moss, I think he hits about over 50 yards. Let's just call it 55 yards on the ground, 2 receptions, another 20 yards. And I firmly do believe Zach Moss finds the end zone at least once, more than likely a receiving touchdown. That would be fantastic. And then when we look at Singletary, as I said, 9 or 10 carries, 40 to 50 yards. I would say 40 is a pretty safe bet here for Singletary. Couple receptions, nothing crazy, 10, 15 yards here. And I firmly believe Singletary finds the end zone on the ground. So you get an air and a ground attack between these two kids. So I love stacking both Buffalo Bills running backs. Let's talk about Derrick Henry. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. This guy is magnificent. He's a monster. He's a wrecking ball. He's a bulldozer. Whatever other adjectives I can think of. But mind you, Buffalo's 2nd overall against opposing running backs. The Buffalo Bills defense has been lights out. But granted, their last few games, they've really run roughshod over their opponents the last like 3 or 4 games here. So Henry, $15,500 on FanDuel. He's more than Tannehill on FanDuel. On DraftKings, Derrick Henry, $11,400. And what can we expect from Derrick Henry? Well, 20 plus carries, right? I would actually say 25 plus carries in this one. Well over 100 yards. He'll find the end zone. Is this one of those games where we see like the patented Derrick Henry game? 28 carries, 170, 200 plus yards, like 4 touchdowns, a little bit over dramatic and exaggerated, but you get the deal here with Derrick Henry. So as I said, Henry, $15,500 on FanDuel, $11,400 on DraftKings. I know it might be sacrilegious to say fade Derrick Henry in a single game slate here, but it's on the table given how expensive he is per usual, but given the matchup as well. We'll double back around to this at the end of the video here. So talking about wide receivers, STEFON Diggs at Tennessee. Tennessee is 32nd. They are dead last against opposing wide receivers. Diggs, $12,500 on FanDuel, $9,600 on DraftKings. I got Diggs for about 9 or 10 targets, 7 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown here. Manuel Sanders, $10,000 $6,000 on FanDuel, only $8,600 on DraftKings. Cole Beasley, $7,500 on FanDuel, only $5,400 on DraftKings, and then Gabe Davis, the enigma. The kid would love to play the kid, but you look at it now, he's just been lost in the shuffle. Gabe Davis, only 8 targets and 4 receptions all season. That's a bummer here. But Gabe Davis, $6,000 on FanDuel, only $2,000 on DraftKings. So which way do we lean here? Obviously, the Buffalo Bills receivers are someone to target and stack, given the fact that Tennessee's dead last against opposing wide receivers here. So obviously, STEFON Diggs, and I love the idea of working Gabe Davis in my lineups this evening too, given the cheap price and giving the magnitude of the game. Monday Night Football, we saw second-year kid. He would have these great surprise kind of games last season. And again, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm saying here with Gabe Davis. I'm saying on DraftKings, $2,000, if you need some sort of salary relief to a player in such a high-powered, volume offensive, skill position with Josh Allen here, look at Gabe Davis's way. We'll see what we get. Again, salary relief, not expecting 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. Again, over dramatic, but Monday Night Football, it's exciting here. Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans wide receivers, because there's a few things that we need to work out here. A.J. Brown against Buffalo. Buffalo was first overall against opposing wide receivers. As I said, this Buffalo Bills defense has been unbelievable, and look out. I mean, their offense is already outstanding, but if the Buffalo Bills defense can kind of keep this up all season, they might cruise to the Super Bowl. Way ahead of myself. It's only the end of week 6, but I kind of work stuff out as I'm going here. Hopefully some of you can appreciate that. A.J. Brown, $11,500 on FanDuel, only $7,800 on DraftKings. So with A.J. Brown, what are we going to do? A lot of questions about A.J. Brown in seasonal format, so I would imagine that stuff kind of carry overs a little bit in DFS circles. So last week, A.J. Brown, I believe off the top of my head, 2 or 3 receptions, like 33 yards or something, nothing crazy. And people are starting to freak out, and rightfully so, given the magnitude of what this guy can be when he's fully healthy. So what are we going to go, I don't want to say throw a dart, it's AJ flipping Brown, but I would temper my expectations with AJ Brown. However, I do have him for about 7 or 8 targets, 5 or 6 receptions, about 80 yards and a touchdown here. So again, on DraftKings, I'm all over A.J. Brown, but on FanDuel, I know Mitch here talks about FanDuel, you need touchdown equity, and it's crazy to say this, but I just don't think we're there yet with A.J. Brown in terms of playing him on FanDuel and hoping he finds the end zone once or twice here. Julio Jones, FanDuel, Julio is $11,000. On DraftKings, $6,600. And with Julio, it's always one of those things, right? You never fade Derrick Henry, and you never used to fade Julio Jones. But I think this evening we have to look somewhere else other than Julio Jones, and we'll get to it here shortly. I got another wide receiver that I'd prefer in this matchup on a week, just a one single game slate kind of thing. Josh Reynolds, $7,000 on FanDuel, only $400 on DraftKings. Now, Chester Rogers is a kid I want to talk about really quick. Chester, $7,000 on FanDuel, $4,400 on DraftKings. I have him for about 4 targets, 2 or 3 receptions, and about 25 to 30 yards here. But I also think Chester Rogers finds the end zone, and at his low cost, we can work in Derrick Henry, STEFON Diggs, Josh Allen, if we fade Julio Jones in favor of Chester Rogers. Now, look, I know a lot of folks, not saying people get confused or they get disheveled here, but I'm not saying to fade Julio Jones in seasonal formats for the rest of the season. That's the conclusion people jump to. For this game only, based on the matchup and the salary relief, I would prefer Chester Rogers over Julio Jones. And I'm telling you, if you make that one little move, you're able to just stack up and mix and match in this line with the heavy-handed studs, because there's many. Tight ends, Dawson Knox, 9 grand on FanDuel, $7,600 on DraftKings. I have Knox for about 5 targets, 3 receptions, 40 yards, and yet another touchdown. Tommy Sweeney, 5 grand on FanDuel, only $200 on DraftKings. Nothing to see here. Same thing with the Tennessee Titans tight ends. Anthony Fursker, Michael Pruitt, nothing to see here. Buffalo is 16th overall against opposing tight ends, but it's something about this with the Tennessee tight ends. I don't think they're going to get. I combined Fursker and Pruitt. I have them combined for like 5 targets, about 40 yards, and that's about it combined really quick. So let's talk kickers briefly. Tyler Bass, it looks like $9,000 on FanDuel, $3,400 on DraftKings, and then Randy Bullock, the Tennessee Titans kicker. Buffalo's 20th overall in giving up points to opposing kickers. Randy, 8 grand on FanDuel, and on DraftKings, $3,200. Now, of the kickers, I think there's an edge to be gained by using Randy Bullock. In terms of Tyler Bass, I have him for about 1 field goal, 3 for 3 in extra points. But then when you look at Bullock, I have him 2 for 2 in field goals and 2 for 2 in extra points. So you're looking at about a half a point or a full point more than Tyler Bass. So if you want some sort of salary relief and you want to, roster one of the kickers, I'm going Randy Bullock. In terms of the defenses, Buffalo, $4,800 on DraftKings, and Tennessee, $3,600 on DraftKings. Obviously, if you're going to choose one, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. I have them for about 3 or 4 sacks, an interception, a fumble recovery, and about like 20 to 21-ish points against here in this one. But hold your horses. As I was talking that out, I think that Buffalo loses this game. I think Buffalo puts up, Buffalo puts up about 24 to 27 points in favor of Tennessee putting up 28 points here. So Buffalo Bills DST, they're a play because of the interceptions, the fumble recovery, the 3 sacks, but points against here, I think that's in favor of Tennessee here. So look at this really quick. Buffalo winning on the road in back-to-back games against, kind of a higher caliber a perennial playoff hopeful team in Tennessee. That's going to be tough. For that sake, I do like the Tennessee Titans this evening. I have them. I'm taking Tennessee plus 3.5 points. I'm taking the over 53.5 points. And then, as you said, I would love to roster Josh Allen, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. We can work in Diggs, but we have to then roster Chester Rogers. And that's how I'm looking there. And again, go to Team Rise or Fall, like, share, subscribe to what we're doing here. And again, we'll meet this same time on Thursday for Thursday Night Football. And before I go, thank you so much. And look for, I will share my screenshot of my notes here. So this is what goes on in my crazy brain. I try and get it all out to you the best I can. So I appreciate everything, and just enjoy Monday Night Football. And at the end of the game here, we are on to Week 7. That is crazy to me. So until we see each other again, bye.